Today on Suncoast View, Sarasota is about to get a lot more funding to fix downtown, but where to even begin, we'll discuss.
A musical family jazzes things up for us on Sounds of the Suncoast.
And spring has sprung, and now our gardens need attention. Troy's Tropics is here to help us pick the right plants. All that and more right now on Suncoast View. And welcome to the show, and happy Friday. We have dancing happening.
TGIF.
Stephanie is off today, but we have Pam McCurdy in the house.
Yeah, in the house.
Yes, welcome, Pam. We're always happy to see you.
Oh, thank you.
I know you have a lot going on at McCurdy's, but actually, there's something that you missed last week when one of your headliners at McCurdy's, Stephen Byrne, who a lot of people know from his syndicated sitcoms, he was here, and Linda teased him into moving in for a kiss.
Wow, Linda.
He told me he had never been kissed. I just wanted to try it out.
But
and I think there was tongue involved in that
here's
one.
where this screenshot was from the actual interview. Linda's eyes are closed, mouth is open. Linda, that was
wide open, Linda.
That was a prom night kiss, if I've ever seen one.
It's been a long time, Joey.
A little wraparound kiss. Woo.
Well, it was fun because he was giving her a hard time, and then she gave him a hard time.
Well, he was insulting me. He said, why was I talking so loud? And then he said something about a first kiss. And what I meant was, I bet you've never been kissed. Nobody would want to kiss you. And suddenly he kissed me, and I like the guy now.
He called her bluff.
We are friends.
Yeah.
Well, he was very funny. I know a lot of the Sarasota audiences loved him at your show last weekend.
Very smart guy.
Yes.
Loved how he presented his show. He came out being, he's making this new television show about being a stand-up comic on his own, like The Tonight Show.
Oh, nice.
So he opens up as if he's Johnny Carson doing, the monologue.
How
then,
great.
Interviewing himself, and, has hot topics, and
well,
it was very
I think
interesting.
that Linda gave him some material.
Oh,
so if
the hottest topic.
If you
the
hear
hottest
about
topic.
a blonde moving in for a kiss, you know where it happened. I know you brought this week's headliner,
we
and
have
we're
Tom
excited
Simmons.
to meet him later on in the show.
I wonder if he's a good kisser.
Well, maybe you'll find
I
out.
hope he's heard about Linda. Let's talk, too, though. I know there's some things that are open to the public that are not just coming to shows coming up.
That's
you
right.
have an improv for singles. Tell us about
Improv for
it.
Singles night. It's on Monday evening, this week coming up. And Scott Novotny, one of our headliners that's been working with us for over 25 years, he actually moved down here. It's his night. And from 6:30 to 7, we kind of gather in the Green Room Lounge, have a cocktail if you want. It's not necessary. We don't do the two-item minimum. Nope. Yeah, you don't need liquid courage. This is fun. And we invite everyone to come in from 7 to 9 p.m. in the showroom. He does improv games. I say it's for two people. The person that loves those improv games and doesn't have anyone to play with, come on out. It's a great, fun environment. And the second is someone that wants to, maybe hone their improv skills. I mean, you are learning comic improv from a nationally touring headliner.
Whoa.
And then the other bonus that you get is you're meeting new friends. And that's always good, somebody that has the same interests.
What a great way to get your feet wet, too.
Absolutely.
And then if you are looking for something a little bit more involved, you have an adult comedy that's comedy for grown-ups, not necessarily adult comedy.
Right, Comedy Boot Camp,
Yes.
and that's what I like about the Comedy Boot Camp is it's the biggest thrill you can get with your feet on the ground and your clothes on.
Oh, good.
That's what I
I'm
say.
taking that in June.
Yes,
Yes,
Linda's
you are.
signed up for
You
next
and your
month.
daughter.
Clothes.
That's right. Keep your clothes
So
on,
it's
girl.
great. You do these every month, and that you can still sign up for April's if this is something you're interested in.
It's an immersion in comedy,
love it.
10 to 15 hours,
Yeah.
you'll see.
So
And,
you can find information about all of those events at mccurdyscomedy.com, but we're glad that you're here with us today.
I am too.
We're
It'll
also
be
glad
fun.
to see in the kitchen our friend Chef Mark from Sharky's on the Pier. Welcome, Chef. Mark,
Good day.
what are we making?
Today we have our nearly famous Shark Bars, a snack bar that we serve at our charity bike ride every year, along with other events down in Venice. So
Yes, so we're making a snack bar. I heard you say earlier that this is a bar that people always ask you about. Patrons
Right.
at the restaurant always want to know how to make these.
Yeah, the recipe's been requested probably more than anything else that I actually sell at the restaurant.
Which is
And-
a compliment
Yeah.
considering
Yeah.
your level of your caliber of food. Well,
And
can't wait to
we
learn.
offer them several other athletic events in Venice, have, been serving them. They were recently at the Sarasota County Tour de Parks for the Friends of the Legacy Trail, had some.
And it looks like all things we can make with things that we either already have or that we can pick up very easily. So this is a nice, good time of year to be able to grab snacks and throw them in your bag for later.
Yeah, it's fun, it's easy, stores well.
Great. Well, we're going to join you later on. We're going to learn about these snacks. We're also going to learn about the event, the charity bike ride.
I have to say, I feel like a shark bar every time I'm in the water.
You hope not to be, right?
I'm yummy.
This weekend, we do want to let you know that there is a big movie premiere. It's not on ABC, but that's okay.
Oh, you're so nice, Joey.
You can catch this actually at home without having to go to the theater. Al Pacino is starring as Penn State football coach Joe Paterno.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
In the movie Paterno. It premieres April 7th on HBO, and it tackles, of course, the entire story of the abuse scandal at Penn State that involved Jerry Sandusky. Yeah. Al Pacino, a stellar cast, so that will premiere Saturday night. Who knows, we may be talking about it on Monday. So
yeah.
Oh, this sounds really good.
And then tune right back into ABC 7.
Yeah.
Well, it is time for our first hot topic. And Sarasota is about to have some extra money to spend. But the big question is, where do we even begin? The city's Economic Development Fund was created in October and reportedly has $1.3 million in it. Attendees of last Monday's commission meeting proposed ideas of where the money should go. Some suggestions include city bike share programs. They also said storefront improvement and business grants, a possible job training facility that would be slightly north of downtown, and even traffic barriers for public safety in plazas. The difficulty part doesn't seem to be coming up with the ideas, but actually prioritizing and committing to them. Where do we think that we should start with this
I
fund?
think we should beautify. Yeah. I just got back from Sydney, Australia, and they've got many little neighborhoods that would be like Sarasota, gorgeous, stunning with the flowers, and they're just so beautiful. So I'd like to make it a little more beautiful downtown.
More attractive
yes,
to a
bring
visitor.
tourists in.
Pam, what about you? I mean, your business is downtown.
I like the bike program. I'm just kind of,
It doesn't bring money in.
Well, all big cities have this bike
it's hard
program,
to carry your wallet.
We don't even have bike lanes right now downtown Sarasota or in Sarasota. And the other apprehension is, you want to, we've been very intentional about keeping young people here and providing. That is something that seems to be, something that would appeal to them, of course, to have the bike share ride program. But at the same time, most of our people are older here, and I don't know if they're going to be jumping on the bikes. And
how many people will it serve? Yes.
And if you're going to do it, though, don't do it halfway. Don't say, oh, we're just going to go down to the dense tourist areas like St. Armands and downtown. If you're going to commit to a program, commit to the whole program, that it works. The proposal, it works because you do the whole thing, not piecemeal it together.
I mean, what the studies that they have talked about with the bike sharing program is that when you put the bike stations in front of businesses, it definitely benefits the business and provides more traffic into the area. One of the commissioners proposed moving, you have your downtown bike stations, but then you also have drop-off points at St. Armands, at some of these other anchor points. I think the idea would be to try to get people that are already going to St. Armands. Our beaches are attracting people without much. They don't need a lot of help, but getting them to come downtown. And if you come downtown with a bike, chances are you'll stay downtown a little bit longer.
Sure, and tour around and visit more of the, than just walking from Classico to Cafe Amici. You're going to visit for businesses.
Yeah, well, I do a lot of shopping downtown.
Yeah,
a lot of shopping.
Good.
And I love going downtown, but I have to say I've never been there on a bicycle. I do want fast parking, though. I want to find a parking. I'll say, okay, I'm going to go around the block once. If I don't find a place, I'm leaving. So I need a place to park real fast to go downtown.
Well, if you go into the garage and there's some bikes there, or many choices. You can call one of the free little carts.
Downtown Bradenton is probably more set up for a bike sharing program, but this money is for Sarasota, and it is earmarked for economic development. So we'll see. It's good to know the money's there, and we hope that it does
Doesn't
what
happen
it's intended
very often.
for. Yes. Well, April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and if you thought the roads were going to be safe again from texters, you might think again. A study from Zen Drive says that 12% of drivers are mobile phone addicts, which means that they are constantly calling, texting, and scrolling 3 times more than your average driver. Despite many laws against phone use while driving, it appears it has only dropped by 2%. So these laws went into effect that you can't text and drive. How do we get people to stop? It's still not working.
Well, I think right now it's something that people sort of laugh about. I remember when drunk driving was something oh, you were drunk and driving last night, ha ha ha. Well, they don't do that anymore. We've made it a very serious thing, and society has come out against it. So I think society has to come out against texting and driving, using your phone and driving, all that. Otherwise, it's just laughing and hoping we can get away with it.
We certainly can't take it into our own hands, to try to stop someone on the roads. As we've seen, a lot of road rage happens from that. I hate the people who beep and honk, and hey, put down your phone, beeping and honking. It's just going to, escalate a situation. Exactly. Maybe there can be some kind of device that the car industry puts in your car that, automatically disables.
You can only call 911.
So Apple now has this on the iPhone, where if you try to pick up a phone, even if you're a passenger, it will say, it will give you a question of, are you driving, are you moving? And you have to say, I'm not driving. You have to elect that. I think what happens though is people say, yeah, I'm
driving.
not driving.
I'm not driving. Click.
But I think you're right. I think it's our perception of that behavior needs to change. Like, it almost needs to become unacceptable.
Right.
Remember when wearing a seatbelt was kind of an option, and if someone didn't, you didn't judge them, and now. Almost
Let's
peer
get
pressure.
Some judging in here. Let's start really calling people out.
Let's get some good guilt.
Yeah, that's right.
It raised me. It could maybe put the phone down for others. Well, on a lighter note, if you have ever wanted to own a piece of old Blue Eyes himself, Frank Sinatra, you now can, but it's awfully personal. A collection of items from Sinatra's estate are on sale now. There are items you would expect, like clothing and some personal accessories, but some of the more unusual items include a Vicodin pill bottle from the 90s that belonged to Sinatra, and get this, a small handful of his hair collected after a haircut.
Oh my gosh.
Would anyone here place a bid on something like that?
With the problem with our opioids, that'd be great to have a Vicodin pill bottle. Perfect.
I mean, you'd have to really be a collector or a Sinatra fan.
Sinatra's hair?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Who needs the money? Come on, what's going on here? Whose Sinatra kid is,
This is
some
a
money?
strange bragging right I think somebody is going for with this. If you told me that it was, one of his rare albums or an early track or even a jacket that he wore or something, I can see somebody.
Yeah, or like have one of these pills. They belong to Frank Sinatra.
And who can verify it's his hair? I could sweep up some hair from my last haircut.
Maybe the last laugh is obviously on us.
Exactly.
Forbidden on us.
All right, well, we're not buying what they're selling. But all right, we talk a lot about millennials on this show, and sometimes we acknowledge it as a group. Maybe they're outspoken, but apparently not when it comes to their food. Recent business reports that when dining out, 50% of millennials find sending back their food uncomfortable, while 61% of the over 55 crowd has absolutely no issue with sending back their food.
Oh, I hated it when my husband would do that. I was so embarrassed. And he would send his food back for the smallest reason, but I was humiliated. I'd go to the ladies' room and peek out and see when they were gone.
Do you now, when you're dining out, if you get the wrong order?
I have never sent it back.
I'm the opposite. When I order something and I have a certain expectation, they have an expectation I'm going to pay for it and at a reasonable price. I have an expectation they're going to bring me exactly what I ordered. And, I think there's the business deal.
I'm a good Southern girl. I can't speak up for myself.
Oh, you'd rather
my
eat
friends tell me I've got to learn to do that.
Yes.
I think you're getting there, though, Linda.
You guys are training
You're
me.
getting aggressive. I love it. But my mom used to make a big scene when we were kids with sending back food. So my brothers and I, when we all went out on our own, we would eat the wrong order and just don't even look at the server. And now that's balanced. I mean,
and it doesn't have to be an emotional thing. It really is a business transaction. I ordered it this way. It's not. Could you please? And it helps, actually, the kitchen to know that maybe something is not being done right, and maybe they need to tweak it, and, it helps them as well.
So there's a difference between sending back your food and then, or just going on Yelp and writing a scathing review because you got the wrong potato.
I think this just shows that I'm more like the millennials.
Yes, see, Linda's a millennial.
Got a lot in common.
Which is bridging the gap. See, we're not picking on our millennials. All right, it is time to check in with our happy hour forecast. And when we come back, we're going to meet the actress who is playing all of the characters in a new show at Manatee Performing Arts.
Okay, so let's be honest. Everybody's family is at least a little bit eccentric in one way or another, and the Manatee Players' latest production is about the stories of a family as they experience the highs and the lows of life. It's a one-woman show, and actress Kathy Faulkner is here to tell us about 2.5-minute Ride. Now, this is the true story by the author, Lisa Kron, about her family. And a one-woman show, but there are a lot of characters in this family. Tell me about the different personalities.
The first personality is my father, who he left Germany, his hometown in Germany, when he was 15 years old. It was part of a program to get Jewish children out of Germany. So that's his first character, and for the most part, he's an older gentleman. But then there's a part where I talk about when he is an interrogator, an American interrogator back home, and he's interrogating a German prisoner. And that's probably one of the more intense moments when I transform from being the older dad to a younger dad, and then I turn into the prisoner.
Do you do this with costumes? How do you do it?
I'm in one costume through the whole show. What changes my character are my body demeanor. I switch my voice to a lower voice to represent the father. And when I'm the father as an interrogator, I actually hold my shoulders back and I become the soldier. And then when I become the prisoner, I'm in a very serious state of mind, and I'm on the verge of crying through the whole scene.
Now, you mentioned the interrogation, but this family was involved in the Holocaust.
Well, they weren't necessarily involved in the Holocaust. Her father was a survivor. He was transported to, he came over to the United States and lived with a foster family from the age of 15 on. His parents, we go back to Auschwitz to see where his parents were killed.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure you know Lily Tomlin and her one-person show on Broadway. Yes. She had used music as well as all different kinds of sounds to transition from one character to another, as well as some props. Do you have that as well? Is there props on stage with you that can...
The only prop I have is a back screen, because it looks like I'm doing basically a PowerPoint presentation. Okay. And I have a clicker for the scene behind me, which is basically just different colors. There aren't really pictures. I'm just all I'm doing is telling them what you're supposed to be seeing on the screen. So there's a lot of detail that I have to talk about so they can actually visualize what's on the screen. The other thing I have is a pointer to point out a couple of things that really aren't on the screen, but I'm describing what I'm pointing to. And I have a chair and a table.
Whenever you watch a one-woman show, it's always interesting because, and we don't have to tell you that you're doing so much work here, but there's two things going on. We get to watch the show, the story of the show, but then we also get to watch the performer tell that story. And like Pam said, through different body movement. I mean, how big a job is this for you?
This is an enormous job.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when I'm in the happy moments, I'm talking about how my father loves to ride roller coasters. So it's very fast paced. I'm going back and forth. I'm being excited. But when it comes to going back to Auschwitz, I suddenly slow down. My speaking gets slower. My body posture goes down a little bit, and my voice gets lower. So it's, and the lighting helps as well, because when I'm in those happy moments, the stage lighting is brighter and cheerier. Then you can see the transition, not only with what I'm doing, but with the lighting as well.
Now, the 2.5 minutes, the name of the play, refers to the roller coasters?
Yes, that would be the Mean Streak. And it's a 2.5-minute ride, and this is when I talk about, I know this is a big mistake because my father is clinging to the bar, and I feel like my teeth are rattling out of my head, so, and I'm worried that it's going to give him a heart attack. But then he comes off of the roller coaster and walks right up to the camera as if giving a post-game interview and says, "That one was the best."
Oh, is that what you hope people take away? from this? They look at you and say, that one was the best.
That would be wonderful.
I mean, you've mentioned some very, very serious subject matter, obviously,
Yes.
with, Nazi Germany, the Holocaust, but then you talked about some of the happier moments. So I think everyone wants to know, is it a comedy mixed in with the drama?
Yes, you always have to have, when it's such a serious context, that you need to have something to break it up. So you have to have comedy, and there's moments where I talk about my crazy Uncle Robert, and he's a funny character, and I mention him, and when I talk about him, people get a big laugh out of it. There are moments where people are just bursting out laughing, but then there are moments when it is very serious, and so I grasp those moments to try to get a tickle in their belly so they can take it on.
Hardly wait to see this.
Well,
it sounds so
Yes.
awesome. And you've got to see it too. 2.5-minute ride runs through April 22nd at the Manatee Performing Arts Center. For tickets and information, go to their website. Next, we'll meet this weekend's McCurdy comedy headliner.
Woo, yeah. Talk about a ride. Roller coaster.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
The Wild Broadway series brings you Funny Girl. Fanny Brice dreams of being famous and through sheer guts and determination becomes a star of the Ziegfeld Follies. Playing March 28th through April 15th, it's the songs and story that generations have grown to love. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Don't rain on my parade. Come see Funny Girl.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This weekend at McCurdy's Comedy Theater, we have headliner Tom Simmons with us. And Tom, I consider him one of our controversial kind of comics. He comes in, he always has a story to tell, a different kind of perspective on it. I'm sure this is a great year for comedy with, different players in the news all the time.
Yeah, is something different this year?
Something.
Yeah, it's weird that people say that. Like, this must be a great time to be a comedian. The jokes must write themselves. They don't write themselves. And we're so divided that it's whatever. And whatever your thoughts are. I wasn't a huge fan of Melania, but now, like, what she's been going through in the last few weeks, if that was my wife, my stuff would be spread all over the White House lawn right now. She'd be keying Air Force One, she'd be changing the locks on the White House. You'd see me live on CNN, like, look at the president getting his socks out of the bushes. I'd be this country's first homeless president, sleeping in Lafayette Park with a big Will Veto for food sign. Yeah, it would be going well for me. Yeah.
So she's shown great control then.
Yeah, she has. My wife's the simple. My wife keeps me grounded in somewhat of a reality, I guess. Like, I'll be you know how I am. I'm sort of complaining about the world. I'll be in my living room like, Israel and Palestine, they've been fighting over the same piece of land. This is how they fix it. My wife's like, are you serious? You're going to solve Israel, Palestine? Would you shut? Why don't you don't you have a sister that doesn't talk to you in a year and a half? Why don't you get your whole family to unblock you on Facebook and then you solve the Middle East?
Oh.
I just have, you know, I'm a little bit, and I have a little boy, so, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
you do?
Yes.
Oh.
You say that like you're concerned.
And you just missed, are you guys involved in sports together with your son? Do you do sports when you're not on the road?
Yes, my son is a Little League baseball player.
Oh.
So a few years ago, I started assistant coaching on the team because if you want your son to play, you coach. That's sort of the rule.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You can send him in?
Yeah, you can put him in.
So we can,
Yes. And it's a little bit of a thing. You know, my wife's like, you can't be yelling at him. I'm like, I'm not yelling at him. I'm coaching him. The same way you yell at him the third time you tell him not to get off his iPod or whatever. That's how I am, you know? She's like, you can't yell. I'm like, you know what? You remind me of that famous quote, honey. I wish that my parents had coddled me more and not pushed me to be better at things. Yeah, that is a quote from no successful person ever, okay?
And your stuff wasn't on the front lawn after that
Yes,
one, huh?
I know. She's very patient.
Yeah.
Well, I hope she's understanding, because I don't know if you've heard, but Linda can be a little aggressive with our comedians when they come to visit.
I heard about the big kiss last week.
I've launched many a career.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that.
Might get a little scratchy there, Linda.
Hey, I'm old enough to be his grandmother, great-grandmother.
Hardly.
I'm used to scratchy beards.
Woo! Kiss and tell. Kiss and tell.
All right, well, we're going to save you here, Tom. You can see Tom at McCurdy's through April 8th. For more information, go to the McCurdy's Comedy Theater website. Coming up next, we get our green thumbs ready for some spring planting.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
20 years ago, the moviegoers of Sarasota looked up at the silver screen and wanted something more. And they got exactly what they wanted. 20 years of some of the best independent films from around the world. The most iconic Hollywood stars walking the red carpet. The most glamorous parties in Southwest Florida. 20 years building up to the most exciting announcement in, well, 20 years. At the Sarasota Film Festival, April 13th to the 22nd.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
We have very bad laws for our border. We're going to be doing things militarily. Until we can have a wall and proper security, we're going to be guarding our border with the military.
President Trump wants to guard the border with our military. Why? And President Trump says our troops are leaving Syria, which is news to the military. I'm Alan Cohn. No one is leaving the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to Suncoast Review. We want to check back in with Chef Mark from Sharky's on the Pier. Mark, you are going to be teaching us to make a snack bar, an energy bar, but it's part of a big event that is happening at Sharky's. Tell us about the Ride the Beaches.
Right, Ride the Beaches. This will be our 16th year for our charity bike ride down at Sharky's, and we host 1,200 cyclists. Breakfast and lunch on the beach, and we raise a lot of money for some good charities, including locally Team Tony.
Yes, Team Tony, very, very popular. Everyone here on the Suncoast is behind him. We can get more information by going to sharkysonthepier.com. That Ride the Beaches event will be Sunday, April 29th. You can still register, you can order shirts, and we're going to learn more about the event and the snack bars that are coming with it when we join Mark in the kitchen a little bit later. Well, everything is turning green again now that spring has sprung here on the Suncoast. So we need to get our green thumbs ready to do some spring planting. And luckily, Alex Barth from Choice Tropics is here to help us out. And Alex, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but I need it. So the weather's great, but there is that concern if we're going to get a bunch of rain. Where do we even start to consider which plants are going to do well?
Right. Well, I mean, just take a breath and realize that any time of season is a good time of season to plant because we're so far south here in Florida. Spring is ideal, but lately there's been a trend of drought, so no periods of rain. If you decide to plant right here and right now, make sure your irrigation system is working or you water vigilantly any new plants.
Yes, because I know that we've been waiting for some rain, but then I know, in a few months it's going to be coming more than we want it to. So are there plants that can survive the big difference?
Hardy ones.
Yeah, most definitely. There's plants that can survive too much water and too little water, real median of things, but you have to be careful. Things like bougainvilleas, which I brought today, for instance, they can't handle a lot of water until they're established.
Well, let's start down there actually. So let's start with, these are the perennials that you've brought?
Correct.
So tell us about bougainvillea. They're so pretty, but they're sturdy?
They are very hardy. Bougainvilleas, the great thing about them is they love dry soil, so you don't have to water them very much. When they're first planted, you want to water them a little bit more, but they're considered drought tolerant once established. Wow. Yeah, and they have a variety of colors. We brought 4 different colors. I mean, you can get a rainbow of different colors in bougainvilleas. And they're just wonderful in the landscape. They provide real brightness, real texture with everything else.
Do they keep their flowers all year, or are they seasonal?
Yeah, they keep their flowers off and on throughout the entire year, so that's another great thing.
But texture, I'm going to tell you, growing up, we had a bougainvillea, and it had thorns on it.
Oh, that's correct.
Oh my gosh, it just would beat my dad up when he tried to cut it back.
Luckily, we are at a day and time where they have thornless, almost completely thornless varieties.
Yeah,
so
they kind of fixed that. Right?
Yeah,
exactly. And will they take over? Do you have to trim them?
So there are dwarf varieties that won't take over, but some bougainvillea varieties, yes, they will take over. So talk to your local plant expert.
Okay, if you keep them in a pot, though, you can.
Correct. You can keep them contained.
Okay.
Yep.
So a completely different look moving over next to the bougainvillea. Tell us about the one in the middle.
So African iris, a great summer plant. They actually have a bloom that comes out yellow or white, purple or blue. They bloom sporadically throughout the year. They can actually live in standing water, but they also do great during times like these where it's not raining that much. So you can see the texture of the foliage. It really just has a neat look, and it goes great with other flowering plants.
Yeah, I mean, as you put it between the other 2 flowers, it really is kind of a nice, it makes the other flowers more of an accent.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Does it stay that height?
It does. It might get a little bit bigger depending on the cultivar, but they're also great in pots. You can put them as a centerpiece in pots and then put some small annuals around them. So they're fantastic.
All right, so moving over, what about this one over here?
So Arbicola trinet is an old world Arbicola. It's been in Florida for years and years. Very hardy. You almost cannot kill them. You'll see them everywhere throughout Sarasota and South Florida because they're very versatile, drought tolerant. They can take too much moisture. They hardly get disease or insect problems. Fantastic perennial to have in the landscape.
Oh, nice. And they're pretty.
They are pretty. Yes, they are. Schefflera is the genus,
They have a nice shine to them. So, all right, moving on to, in front of Pam, you brought the annuals.
Yep, and these guys are still sleeping a little bit. These are purslane, very drought tolerant. The blooms will pop out during the day and then they recede during the night. They do this off and on throughout the entire summer. They're very versatile, can take high exposure, high heat, They're just
very
fantastic.
I was losing my mind. I had some of those, and I said, "Oh, they're blooming." Then I
Right.
come home from work.
Yep.
They're not blooming.
Yep.
Oh, did I
You
imagine
have to
that?
take a day off so you can see them
Exactly.
in bloom, so you don't miss them.
Yeah, they're actually native over to Africa, so they're really good at conserving energy when they need to and then expelling it when they
Very
don't.
hard.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
dense, too.
They are.
Next to them, I know Pam is a fan of Blue Days. Tell us about those.
Yes, this is Blue Days. Now, this is a hybridized variety called Blew My Mind. They're fantastic.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
They almost are more than an annual. They'll last for up to a year or two,
Wow.
and they bloom off and on throughout the whole year. They just have wonderful blue, purplish flowers, and they're great for ground cover in small areas in
And
the
blue
landscape.
flowers are hard to find.
They are hard to find. Yeah, the only other blue flower that's predominant is plumbago, and that gets like 6 to 8 feet tall. So this is a
That's a nice
great
butterfly.
option.
Oh,
Yeah.
The plumbago.
But
It
they're
is.
not as practical if you don't have the room
They're
for
not
it.
as exactly. You're dead on, Joe.
All right, let's talk about this one.
Gaillardia is a great one. It's
Gaillardia.
bright.
Like that.
Bees love it. Butterflies love it. And bees, just so you know, are very docile. Once they get around flowers, they almost become intoxicated, so they're not dangerous typically.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, when they're around flowers. But it's a great summertime bloomer. Really adds vibrance to your landscape.
Say that name again.
Gaillardia.
I thought you were saying gladiolo. I don't remember that.
And now there's a variety of colors in this one. Which one is this?
Those are pentas, and those again are fantastic.
We
They've
have the
been
red
around
one.
for a long time. Butterflies love them.
Oh, really?
Other things love them, like hummingbirds you'll find in the landscape when you plant those. Really great choice for landscaping, and hardy.
And I love
Hardy,
everything
that's-
from like the more of the fuchsia pink to a
Yeah.
darker, lighter, and then even the white. So you
Yeah.
these all
You can mix them
come
all
You could blend
together.
them and that'd be
Yep.
beautiful.
Really great. One quick last question for you. Is there anything we should do now to prep the soil? I know you said
Yes.
some of these go in dry, some don't.
So as dry as it's been, it's a good idea. If you're ready to plant, go and get some bags of compost, spread it on your existing soil, till it up some, and you can actually buy time-release fertilizer and spread it like chicken feed. It'll allow nutrients to be in the soil, and you're ready to plant for the summer.
Oh, this is great.
Should I be spreading that chicken feed across
Spread the chicken feed now. Yep,
Spread it, girl.
spread it.
Yes, while Linda spreads the chicken feed, we're going to spread the love with Troy's Tropics. You can find them at Procter & Honore in Sarasota. You can always go online and find them at troystropics.com for any of your plant needs or any questions like we have. Thank you so much, Alex. Coming up next, we're going to jazz things up a bit, literally, in Sounds of the Suncoast. We're going to meet a family that's a musical trio.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5. Thanks to all of you who participated in ABC7's Caribbean Cruise Giveaway Contest. Join us as we celebrate our grand prize winner, Joy Spakowski of Northport. Married for 13 years in June, Joy and her husband, Don, are excited to celebrate their anniversary on a spectacular 7-night luxury Caribbean cruise for two. Congratulations, Joy and Don. Bon voyage. ABC7, we're here for you. This is an ABC7 News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. New developments tonight in a Sarasota shooting that happened early this morning. The man police believe is responsible and why he's considered armed and dangerous. And a disagreement between two Sarasota County School District leaders now being made public. Now let's get a check on our First Alert weather forecast with Bob, who's at Music on Main.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, Music on Main, first Friday of the month right here. Beautiful weather. You couldn't ask for better weather. The live music begins at 6 p.m. tonight. It is pet friendly, as you can hear right behind me. You just got to have a leash. Hi, everyone. Enjoying the evening, and here's what's happening as far as the latest goes. On our graphics showing some clouds around, but not a lot. We are anticipating generally fair skies here tonight with temperatures holding on into the 70s throughout the concert. We'll have much more in our forecast coming up today.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Dear parents, it's time for a pop quiz. What's the best kind of play for kids?
Play that makes us think, or helps us pretend, or teaches us rules, or to be creative. Actually, every kind of play is important because different kinds of play give us different kinds of skills. Help us mix up the ways we play. Okay, class dismissed. Now go play.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
There have been many famous musical families over the years, from the Von Trapps to the Partridge Family. What could be better than making music with those you love? Today, we have the Baraki family, also known as the Vinyl Lovers Trio, jazzing things up in Sounds of the Suncoast. Take it away, guys.
Lullaby of Berlin, that's what I always hear when you sigh. Never in a world could there be words to reveal in a phrase how I feel. Have you ever heard two turtle doves, Bill and Coo, when they love? That's the kind of magic music we make with our lips when we kiss. Now, there's a weepy old willow. He really knows how to cry. That's how I cry on my pillow. If you should tell me farewell and goodbye, lullaby of Berlin, whisper low. Kiss me sweet, then we'll go flying high in Berlin, high in the sky up above. Just because we're in love. Do ba 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 be do dee do be ba 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 do dee boo dee boo ba. Now there's a weepy old willow. He really knows how to cry. That's how I cry on my pillow. If you should tell me farewell and goodbye, lullaby of Berlin, kiss me sweet, then we'll go flying high in Berlin in the sky. All because we're in love. Just because we're in love. When we kiss.
Oh,
Okay.
you guys are awesome. Thank you
here.
so much. That is great. The Vinyl Lovers Trio. A family. Okay, I am guessing mother, father, daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So how did you start singing together? How did you start performing?
Well, when I was very young, I always listened to jazz and listened to them playing. And we put this together a few years ago, and we started out with jazz, then we moved on to some funk, some blues, some originals, and that's just how it all came together.
I'm guessing your parents were already professionals.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I could tell that from listening to them. So you write original songs too?
Yes.
How does that work with all three of you together? Do you put your heads together?
Well, I compose the songs and the lyrics and the melodies, and then my father kind of helps me with the arranging part of it, since he knows a lot of music theory, and then my mother also helps with the bass, and the bass is crucial in every piece of music.
Do you think you get along better as a family singing together like this?
Yes, that this is where we're most, I believe that this is where we are ourselves. When we sing, when we play together, we can share moments. It's just like when a normal family goes to watch a movie, or they go to
they go out for dinner. For us, this is like our spend together time.
So if you get mad, you just break into song and everybody's happy again, right?
For sure.
Well, you guys are so good. We want to hear more from you. But first, we want to tell people that they've got to go to social media to learn more about you. You can follow the Boracchi family on social media. Just search for Vinyl Lovers Trio on Facebook. And next, speaking of social media, we're going to take you behind the scenes at ABC7. You will not believe this, but first, let's hear more from the Vinyl Lovers Trio. A little bit more, guys.
Thank you. This is an original. It's called Baby Please. It's crazy how you don't know how things turn out. Oh, well, if I never take a chance, I'll really never find out. Yes, it's easy to sit the bench than to get called to play out.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new animal adventure. We're heading to a facility whose main goal is to eliminate some of the most deadliest animals in the world. And it's called the Shark's Tooth Capital of the World. But that's not all you'll find in the water here. We're on the hunt for some prehistoric treasures.
You get the stingray barbs, the stingray palate teeth.
Join us this week on ABC7.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Each day, researchers make discoveries that bring us closer to the moment when all cancer patients can become survivors. Their progress is made possible with the help of clinical trials. Clinical trials are the brightest torch researchers have to light their way towards better treatments. And if you've been diagnosed with cancer, they may be your brightest ray of hope. Speak with your doctor and visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials to learn more. Together, we can stand up for all of us.
All right, so you've heard of the trend flossing, that it's a dance. It has nothing to do with your teeth. Well, there was a little fun had behind the scenes in the newsroom yesterday, and some of the anchors started to show off their dancing skills. Scott Dennis showed up everyone. In fact, Scott was the one who taught our evening anchor, Jacqueline Matter, how to floss.
Oh, go
Bob
Scott.
Harrigan, our First Alert meteorologist, killing the dance beautifully. This was the fun being had backstage, and everyone thinks Suncoast View is the fun show.
Right.
I have to say, we've got some serious dancing competition.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Getting his dance
So
on.
you
knew he could do that.
I know. Well, he has a teenage daughter, a preteen daughter.
Of course.
And he said that
That's
she
it.
taught him and that she can do it very, very quickly. So, Scott, we are very impressed with not just your, your journalist skills, but your dancing skills as well. You can find so much more fun on our social media. You can follow us. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at mysuncoastview.com. All right, now you can find us in the kitchen. We're heading in to learn how to make shark snack bars with Sharkies at the Pier.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
I heard about the Dotole Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotole Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
This is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at 5 o'clock. How a road swap between the Florida Department of Transportation and Sarasota County could impact the controversial Siesta Promenade project. In First Alert traffic right now, we're seeing the northbound lanes of I-75 very slow going all the way from Clark Road north into Manatee County past State Road 64. Now let's get another check on the weather with Bob Harrigan.
That's right, Scott. We're here live at Lakewood Ranch, Main Street, Music on Main taking place, and you're looking right now at the Futurecast showing some clouds for the weekend and some showers, but nothing like that tonight. We are anticipating generally fair skies here tonight and should not be a big issue, but there is a chance for some showers. We'll talk about that with the front moving down on Saturday. And then another chance for some rain, much needed rain I might add, on Tuesday as a little bit stronger system moves on in. For the time being, things looking absolutely outstanding right here.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Coming up Monday at 4, we remember Hurricane Irma all too well, and now predictions are out for this year's tropical season. We'll sit down with ABC 7 First Alert weather meteorologist John Scalzi and ask him to explain why this year may be a busy one. Suncoast designer Nikki Sadaka shows us unique Burmese python jewelry. Plus, we learn about the arts education program Any Given Child, and Oak and Stone is in the kitchen.
Welcome back. We're here with Chef Mark from Sharky's on the Pier, and we're going to be making some shark bars.
Our famous shark bars. Some of my staff calls them Mark bars. They get really excited every time when this comes around. It's a pretty basic thing. You can make it at home. It's my most requested recipe pretty much. Right here I've already melted down marshmallows, which is the basis of this.
Oh, wow.
And then into this we're going to add some peanut butter.
Okay.
Oh, so everything's good with peanut butter in it.
Yes.
I think the energy is going to be from the marshmallow, right?
Marshmallow has a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yes, and the
How
protein.
many marshmallows do we have there?
That's a pound of marshmallows.
Wow.
Oh, that's a lot of marshmallows.
And this is going to make us a whole pan of these energy bars, right?
Yes, it is. So, and then over here we got a basic. Kind of starts out as a Rice Krispie treat.
Okay.
Oh.
And then we add pretzels to it for a little bit of saltiness.
Oh, wow.
A little more
pretzels, peanuts, dried cranberries.
So I was going to ask, you didn't crush up the
raisins.
pretzels, but that's because we're going to be cutting the bars
Yeah,
later,
cut
so
them
there's
up
no
and
need.
you can use sticks. And
Okay.
those stay until the end.
Okay.
And sunflower seeds toasted.
All right.
So all of that is mixed together in the bowl.
Can you customize a little if you like more raisins, less craisins?
Anything you want there. Actually, this recipe had its origins about 15 years ago when we started our bike ride.
Oh, and I'm wearing the
Yeah,
the
let's
new
talk a little
shirt
bit
for
about
the bike ride.
as you're mixing that up. This is all getting ready for. This is one of the snacks that you serve when you do these charity events.
Correct.
And you have the 16th annual
Sharky's Ride the Beach.
Ride the Beach is coming up, and this is in honor of that event.
Right.
And you mentioned earlier that there are 3 teams,
Oh, that's sticky.
and one of them is Team Tony, who a lot of people are here on the Suncoast are familiar with.
Our charities are Team Tony. They're an organization that helps people fighting cancer on a local level. We also donate to Livestrong, which is another organization that helps people fighting cancer on a national and national level.
Yeah.
And then we also help out Friends of the Legacy Trail because they help us a lot. And the Legacy Trail really is a jewel here in Sarasota County that we like to promote.
As part of that ride, that event, this is a great recipe for, I know a lot of people are very active as it's still a little cool out before summer, so this is something we could make before we go out camping or riding a bike or running the bridge.
Yeah.
They
and
will
just
keep
a
without
snack
refrigeration.
in the office too, you know, you want something that's easy.
You pack them down fairly tight.
Okay.
And then after it cools, you end up with something that looks like this.
Wow. Easy to get out of the pan?
Pretty much. Just flip it upside down, pat it a few times.
Great. And then, so will Linda do the honors of cutting us the
cut
pieces?
one up, Linda.
Oh, you laugh when you say that. Look at this. Look at this.
So while Linda's cutting up the bars, we want to talk a little bit more about the ride. So people can register now for the ride, and they get a T-shirt as part of their registry.
If you register by the 14th of the month, the T-shirt is included.
Okay.
If you register after that, the price stays the same, but the T-shirt is not included, as it takes a little bit of time to get them all printed up.
Sure, and the beautiful jersey that Pam is modeling, that is for an extra fee, but all going toward the charity.
Correct,
yes.
Was it 10%?
10% of the sale of the jersey goes to our charities.
That's great, and that is, again, sharkiesonthepier.com. You can get more information about the Ride the Beaches coming up Sunday, April 29th. All right, Linda is serving up the snack bars. I'm going to take a little taste from over here. That's all right, Linda. You need the energy. It's the weekend coming up. Pam, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Great things coming up at McCurdy's. You can sign up for the various classes, the great headliners.
Comedy boot camp's coming up, and this Monday, the improv
for singles. And you know what? You may hear Linda as part of the material in the comedian's stand-up routine.
That's
Mark,
what I always aimed at.
thank you very much. Great things happening at Sharky's and also next door at Finn's at Sharky's. All right, we're going to get some energy going.
Yes.
See you all out there on the bike.
Yes, we'll see you on your bike. Take some time. Enjoy the Suncoast view.